What? That makes me want to click. Are we watching this?
This is the story
This
of
is so-
Shoko Tendo, daughter
this
of a
is so
Yakuza,
clickbait.
survivor of one of the most brutal ordeals that anyone should ever
We
have
watch
to go
this?
through. Shoko still carries the physical and mental scars of her younger life and her years of abuse and heartbreak. All the while, her father not only allowed it to happen, but actually encouraged it. Let's take a look inside the life of the most dangerous Yakuza's daughter.
Oh, the most.
惚れ込ん
Okay.
でヤクザに入っていったっていうのがきっかけ。
The world of the Yakuza has often been fantasized by many who view it from the outside. The deadly criminal organization began its origins hundreds of years ago, but became the Yakuza we are more familiar with today after World War II. By 1963, the Yakuza had over
Honestly, don't know that much about
180,000
them.
members and had begun to strengthen their grip on Japan. They were not averse to bribing politicians, and soon corruption would become part of the Yakuza way. They make their money from various different criminal activities, including blackmail, extortion, and, of course, the sale of illegal narcotics. Their numbers
Drugs?
have been in decline as Japan steers away from simply accepting the Yakuza as part of their society.
好きな女抱いてっていう風なのが見えるんですけど、基本的にはやっぱりもうでっちからなんで、誰かについて、上の人についてね、礼儀作法とかを学んでいくっていうのが基本なんです。
But one aspect of the Yakuza that isn't talked about as much and explored even less is the woman of Yakuza. As it turns out, this might be for a very good reason, as this case reveals in all its shocking detail.
Dude, that
Quand
must
on a
hurt so
été
much.
pour une femme, je crois que c'est plus dur.
The story of Shoko
Angels?
Tendo is one of heartbreak and tragedy, and one that shocked many, as this victim decided to tell all in a no-holds-barred book that revealed the sickening treatment the Yakuza have committed, and this treatment isn't just inflicted on their enemies. Born in 1968, Shoko was one of 3 siblings to parents Hiroyasu and Satomi. Shoko was born into the Yakuza and lived in a beautiful house in Sakai, Osaka. They led comfortable lives, with their Yakuza father running several legitimate businesses, as
She
well
cut
as
off her
his more
finger?
darker profession. Being a Yakuza came with sacrifice, and going straight was precarious, as the gang tattoos tell any employer exactly what your past would have involved. In fact, Yakuza tattoos affect many parts of their lives, and former members have faced discrimination after their history has been uncovered. Shoko wasn't even
Must
10
hurt
years
so
old when she
bad.
first experienced this discrimination. After the death of her grandmother, she saw her father and one of her uncles disputing over the will, and she claims her uncle told her father, "You, Yakuza scum, you're not getting a penny of the Tendo family's money." She recalled neighbors would gossip, and she would
Long
be
is
treated
it?
like an
12
outcast
minutes,
through
okay.
her
We
school
watched the
years.
video.
During this time, her father was imprisoned, and as Japanese law forbade children between the ages of 4 and 14 from visiting prisons, he did not see him for many years. In his absence, her mother kept an eye on his gang and family businesses, and although her mother was loving and supportive, she might not have known the extent of the bullying she was experiencing as the daughter of a gangster. And one of these experiences would be an ominous premonition of violence that was yet to come. During an encounter with another girl, a group of boys attempted to violate her. With the help of a friend, she was able to fight them off and escape harm. Her association with the Yakuza and the dangers that come with it had already had an adverse effect on her life, and soon she would discover the true horror of being a gangster's daughter.
On ne devient pas
What's
Yakuza quand on
happening?
est une femme. En revanche, les femmes qui ont épousé des Yakuza font totalement partie du groupe. Après, leur rôle va dépendre en fait du rang hiérarchique de leur...
The bullying and exclusion eventually took its toll on Shoko. One night, after she was under the influence of paint thinner, she assaulted someone and was
Paint
sent
thinner?
to refractory school for 8 months. Her life wouldn't get any easier when she returned home. Her father's
thinner.
debts
Love
would
it.
begin to mount, and life became a living nightmare for Shoko, and her father found the most unforgivable way to pay off his debts. He allowed those he owed money to violate his own daughter as payment. She
What
began
the
experimenting heavily with narcotics on a downward spiral of her mental and physical health. Some of the men who abused her would violently beat her, and this became her life for several years. By the age of 20, she had been involved with several Yakuza men, most of whom continued to abuse her. She later talked about these encounters, saying,
Jesus
"Every
Christ.
time I met a new man, I thought he would be different. When they cried and said sorry, I forgave them. I never learned. Shoko recalls the last time she took narcotics. It was
Jesus,
after
she's so
another
skinny.
beating in another seedy hotel. But this time, she had an epiphany and recalls, I kept thinking, I don't want to die in a place like this. I was there for an hour and managed to drag myself home. I knew it was time to stop. But she would face the most challenging parts of her life yet, when she was to
Jesus
experience
Christ,
the
dude.
first loss of a parent. Just before she married a gangster, Shoko was severely beaten by an ex-boyfriend. Her marriage wouldn't last, and she even claims her husband cut off one of his own fingers, a traditional method of atonement for Yakuza gangsters.
落とした理由もう僕ここないんですけど、落とした理由っていうのは僕の親分さん、僕が親父って言ってた人ですね。ちょっとしたこう嘘をついてしまったんですよ。その嘘をついた時に僕がなんかもうすごく好きだった親分なんで。
This gruesome act of self-punishment is synonymous to a Yakuza ritual.
がちょっと厳しくて会費が払えないからと言ってその組織から逃げたりとか逃げたりした時もやっぱり組に戻る以上は何かしらのけじめをつけろと
What
言わ
the
れてやっぱ
fuck?
り指を落として帰って
Shoko would move to Tokyo after she found herself without
Jesus
any money
Lord.
and with nowhere else to go. She started working in a pachinko parlor and would try to build a better life for herself. But when her
Jesus
mother
Christ.
passed away, she would become consumed
Jesus
by grief
Christ, it just cut
and
off your
unable to
finger.
continue life. One night, she swallowed handfuls of sleeping pills in an attempt to take her own life. She would survive the ordeal.
Holy moly.
When her father died of stomach cancer several years later, instead of reacting as badly as she did with her mother, Shoko saw this as a real chance to turn her life around once and for all. Newly divorced, she took the chance and she returned to work in the red light zone. Within a year, she had opened a savings account. She worked hard and focused on her job relentlessly, and with that perseverance, she was able to save enough to leave the life of a hostess forever. Her story so far had been a roller coaster, and she decided it was time she put pen to paper and tell the whole world about the life of a Yakuza daughter. And what she revealed makes for a shocking read when she released her book, Yakuza Moon. Some of the more heartbreaking details of her story include the damage
Jesus
the
Christ,
years
that
of
is-
violation and abuse have taken, not just on the state of mind, but on her health as well. Her scars paint a terrifying picture of how violent Yakuza men could be towards their women. By the time she escaped their world, she had suffered broken bones and teeth, damaged eardrums, missing hair, and had suffered from the repercussion of her narcotic use. So brutal were these injuries that she eventually needed plastic surgery. Yet despite the pain she endured often with knowledge of her father, she still speaks of him fondly while recalling some of his more violent moments with other members. She describes the first time she saw a Yakuza member after severing his own finger. My mother tried to shield my eyes, but I could still see the blood dripping from his hand. My dad was furious and split the guy's head open with an object in the hall. He said, "Why did you cut your finger off?" Shoko still visits the family cemetery in Sugomo, and even with the difficult relationship between her and her father, he still managed to encourage her in a letter he sent
Christ.
just before his death, where he said, "Shoko, please continue to believe in yourself." And believe in herself she did. Her book sold copies all around the world and have been translated into several languages. The
Jesus
gripping
Lord.
insight into the world of the Yakuza was even approved by some Yakuza members themselves. One of those wrote to her, telling Shoko that her portrayal of a gangster was as accurate as it could be. Maybe writing about her life has somehow helped heal the mental wounds she has endured. But one aspect of the Yakuza will never leave her: the Yakuza tattoo. Instead of shying away from the tattoos that cover her body, Shoko embraces them and sees them as an empowering part of her life. While famous Japanese artists and musicians can freely display their body art, the Yakuza live more concealed lives, and their tattoos have had an effect on the very culture of
They
Japan.
look really beautiful though, the ones
どう
she
してもや
has.
っぱり公の場でイズムを見せちゃうとやっぱりこういいイメージをやっぱ持たれないんで見せびらかすのもあんまりいいとは思わないし入れ墨って隠す美しさがあると思うんです。その秘密にする自分だけのものっていう。
Many former members experience the kind of discrimination that comes with bearing tattoos, and some even take more extreme methods to live a normal life again.
ね、僕もちょっと入ってるんですけどちょこっとだけじゃあお見せしましょうかね。手首まであったのが今はやっぱりほら僕建築の仕事してるんで ちょっとここまで消しました。
But for Shoko, her tattoos would become a lasting part of her life, and she even had more to cover the scars of her youth, covering her body in dragons, flowers, phoenixes, and courtesans. Although, like most former members, she feels the need to cover them up in Japanese society, she still feels the empowerment from her tattoos, and continues to add more, even after she had left the organization. Having seen tattoos from an early age, she became
she's
used to
so
them,
skinny.
and even admired them, later saying that, "My father had a huge Buddha on his back, and many of the people who came to our house had tattoos. I knew that made them different from ordinary people, but also that the relationship between them was stronger than blood. I guess I felt that this was the world that I belonged
Under my
to.
eye.
I felt at home there." Yakuza tattoos are now becoming less frequent as their numbers decline. It was in 1992 that the Japanese authorities finally stood up to the deadly organization and gave their own people an ultimatum.
This was the beginning of the end for the Yakuzas. The once tolerant police decided to take action against this shadow government.
The Yakuza had infiltrated the stock market, real estate, airport management, and even nuclear power stations.
Jesus.
These violent groups were everywhere, in key sectors of the economy.
The Japanese government implemented the Anti-Boryokudan law in 1992. These strict anti-gang laws would not only make it easier for gang bosses to be arrested for the actions of their underlings, it also discouraged businesses from engaging with the Yakuza. In fact, if businesses were caught dealing with them, they would face a range of punishments. This does not just include business meetings or dealings. This can also be simply playing a round of golf with a Yakuza member.
Damn.
By doing this, the police
Oh, shit.
shifted from directly punishing the gangs to allowing the social stigma to do the job for them. The effect was felt almost immediately, with many gangs fading away and the numbers dropping rapidly.
It's actually
they
crazy
find
that they
recruiting
got
numbers
that under
harder than
control
ever,
so
and
easy.
their numbers have gone from almost 200,000 at their peak to less than 40,000 today.
Yeah.
Shoko Tendo is set to write a follow-up to her first book and is now living as a single mother with a young child herself. She has talks about her new partner as a world away from the men she grew up with, describing him as almost comically different, very gentle and almost feminine. He freaks out when he sees my tattoos and tells me to cover them when we're out. But she maintains a happy and healthy life, living as an author and helping to educate Japan and the world on the life of a Yakuza daughter. Shoko Tendo's story is both heartbreaking and inspiring. She took herself from being an beaten victim into a writer, a mother, and an empowering woman. She continues to inspire to this day and embraces her past while looking only to her future. Let me know what you think of the case of Shoko Tendo. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I'm definitely not a reaction any, but that was interesting. I didn't know that they made such strict laws. That's marketing, probably, yeah. Would make sense if they did ban. No, they didn't. They don't do that. They don't. Why would it make sense to ban tattoos? They're just gonna find other ways to mark themselves. They're just gonna all cut off their pinky finger. The law, politics. Yep. How are you doing today, Gilia? How is work treating you? Place with school forbid ponytails. Yeah, they actually did. I didn't know that. Work is technical difficulties. Ink? Oh no. Oh no. Still don't know what to play, man. So messy. So it's Zelda as well. Did you sail the seas or did you buy it? You bought it? How many hours do you have already? Two maybe. How do you like it so far? What are the thoughts so far on the game? Like I bought the same game again, right? I got you. So sad. I don't know how everybody loves the game so much. I really don't understand. It's literally copy paste. It's like, hey, our last game did great. What could we do to have the same success? Let's just make the same game again. Yeah, or that. It is so sad that I did that. But I was really excited, but it's literally copy paste. And especially I especially noticed it because I played the first part or like the last part. What's it called? Like I played Breath of the Wild when I flew to Japan on a plane. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just refresh my memory of the story. And now I played this and I'm like, dude, I'm doing this exact same shit. Like literally the exact same thing again. It is so sad. No yawning. I'm trying to stay awake over here. I'm sorry. I'm getting tired. And I still need to get to the fucking gym tonight. I'm gonna have to drink my monster. Actually, should we give Hydroneer another play? Fuck, I don't know. I want to play something, but I don't know what. I do not know what I want to play. That's the thing. Like, I have nothing to play, guys. I got nothing to play. Here, Automata. I would have to download it. I don't have it installed. First. You can do double backflip with a screw in the middle, but a single one is just too hard. Sounds perfect. Yeah, I can exactly what Gilly said. You can do a double with a screw in the middle. Uni Unschuld, hallo, servus. Servus, hallo. Hello. 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 I want to do something, but like everything feels mad. Exactly that. Dude, I don't know. What do I do? Do I build a house in Sims? Just so it makes me feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's the only thing I could do. Just build a house in Sims. But we all know that once we get to playing, I'll never play it. I could start this, but then like I have to start it. Exactly. I don't know, man. You know what? We gotta play Hydroneer. Fuck it. We're doing it. Hydroneer. Let's try to automate stuff. Let's do it. We're doing it. Because it's actually a really good game. Let's go, guys. Hydroneer. Y'all more depressed than me. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Hi, Jinxie. Continue. The breadless one? I think it was this one. Oh yeah, we're in what do I have in my hand? I just take the... Oh fuck, I took the door out.
Huh?
Fuck, how do I... Oh, that was the thing, we need to turn it off. Oh no. Fuck, give me a second, how do I turn it off? Where's my shovel? Oh, I forgot we had this thing going on. Oh no. My bad. We have stuff stuck in our thingy. Give me a second. Can I take that out? Oh no. I think we have way too much soil stuck in there. I can't really grab the other stuff, so let's hope this was it. Oh no, that's the wrong way around.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
Why is it not letting me do it? Give me a second. Can I just... Oh.
Huh?
Why can it not?
Huh? 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 Huh?
What's the issue here, buddy?